Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. The rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Friday the 1st of March 2024, and we have 65 events to cover, going all the way back to the year 510 BC. Starting with the most recent event, which happened 10 years ago in 2014. 35 people are killed and 143 injured in a mass stabbing at Kunming railway station in China. 16 years ago in 2008. The Armenian police clash with a peaceful opposition rally protesting against allegedly fraudulent presidential elections. As a result, 10 people were killed. 17 years ago in 2007, tornadoes break out across the southern United States, killing at least 20 people, including 8 at Enterprise High School. 18 years ago in 2006, English language Wikipedia reaches its 1 millionth article, Jordan Hill Railway Station. 19 years ago in 2005, in Roper versus Simmons, the US Supreme Court rules the execution of juveniles found guilty of any crime is unconstitutional. 21 years ago in 2003, management of the United States Customs Service and the United States Secret Service moved to the United States Department of Homeland Security. 22 years ago in 2002, the US invasion of Afghanistan. Operation Anaconda begins in eastern Afghanistan. In the same year, the Envisat environmental satellite successfully launches aboard an Ariane 5 rocket to reach an orbit of 800 kilometers or 500 miles above the Earth, which was the then largest payload at 10.5 meter long and with a diameter of 4.57 meters. 26 years ago in 1998, Titanic became the first film to gross over $1 billion worldwide. 32 years ago in 1992, Bosnia and Herzegovina declares its independence from Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. 33 years ago in 1991, uprisings against Saddam Hussein begin in Iraq, leading to the deaths of more than 25,000 people, mostly civilians. 34 years ago in 1990, Steve Jackson Games is raided by the United States Secret Service, prompting the later formation of the Electronic Frontier Foundation. 43 years ago in 1981, Provisional Irish Republican Army member Bobby Sands begins his hunger strike in HM Prison, Maze. 50 years ago in 1974, in the Watergate scandal, 7 are indicted for their role in the Watergate break-in and charged with conspiracy to obstruct justice. 51 years ago in 1973, Black September storms a Saudi embassy in Khartoum, Sudan, resulting in the assassination of 3 Western hostages. 53 years ago in 1971, President of Pakistan, Yahya Khan, indefinitely postponed the pending National Assembly session, precipitating massive civil disobedience in East Pakistan. 58 years ago in 1966, Venera-free Soviet space probe crashes on Venus, becoming the first spacecraft to land on another planet's surface. In the same year, the Ba'ath Party takes power in Syria. 60 years ago in 1964, Villarrica volcano begins a strombolian eruption, causing lahars that destroy half of the town of Conaripe. In the same year, Paradise Airlines Flight 901A crashes near Lake Tahoe, Nevada, killing 85. 62 years ago in 1962, American Airlines Flight 1 crashes into Jamaica Bay in New York, killing 95. 63 years ago in 1961, Uganda becomes self-governing and holds its first elections. 66 years ago in 1958, Samuel Alphonsus Stritch is appointed pro-prefect of the propagation of faith and thus becomes the first US member of the Roman Curia. 68 years ago in 1956, the International Air Transport Association finalises a draft of the radio telephony spelling alphabet for the International Civil Aviation Organization. In the same year, the formation of the East German Nationale Volksarmee. 70 years ago in 1954, nuclear weapons testing. The Castle Bravo, a 15 megaton hydrogen bomb, is detonated on Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, resulting in the worst radioactive contamination ever caused by the United States. In the same year, armed Puerto Rican nationalists attack the United States Capitol building, injuring 5 representatives. 71 years ago in 1953, Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin suffers a stroke and collapses. He dies 4 days later. 74 years ago in 1950, in the Cold War, Klaus Fuchs is convicted of spying for the Soviet Union by disclosing top secret atomic bomb data. "77 years ago in 1947, the International Monetary Fund begins financial operations. 78 years ago in 1946, the Bank of England is nationalised. 82 years ago in 1942, in World War II, Japanese forces land on Java, the main island of the Dutch East Indies, at Merak and Banten Bay, Banten, Eratan Wetan, Indramaru, and Kragen, Rembang. 83 years ago in 1941, in World War II, Bulgaria signs the Tripartite Pact, allying itself with the Axis powers. 85 years ago in 1939, an Imperial Japanese Army ammunition dump explodes at Hirakata, Osaka, Japan, killing 94. "92 years ago in 1932, aviator Charles Lindbergh's 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., is kidnapped from his home in East Amwell, New Jersey. His body would not be found until May the 12th. 103 years ago in 1921, the Australian cricket team captained by Warwick Armstrong becomes the first team to complete a whitewash of the Ashes, something that would not be repeated for 86 years. In the same year, following mass protests in Petrograd demanding greater freedom in the RSFSR, the Kronstadt Rebellion begins, with soldiers and citizens taking up arms against the Bolsheviks. 105 years ago in 1919, March the First movement begins in Korea under Japanese rule. 107 years ago in 1917, the Zimmermann telegram is reprinted in newspapers across the United States after the US government releases its unencrypted text. 110 years ago in 1914, China joins the Universal Postal Union. 114 years ago in 1910, the deadliest avalanche in United States history buries a Great Northern Railway train in northeastern King County, Washington, killing 96 people. 123 years ago in 1901, the Australian Army is formed. 128 years ago in 1896, in the Battle of Adwa, an Ethiopian army defeats an outnumbered Italian force, ending the First Italo-Ethiopian War. In the same year, Henry Becquerel discovers radioactive decay. 131 years ago in 1893, electrical engineer Nikola Tesla gives the first public demonstration of radio in St. Louis, Missouri. 152 years ago in 1872, Yellowstone National Park is established as the world's first national park. 153 years ago in 1871, the victorious Prussian army parades through Paris, France, after the end of the Siege of Paris during the Franco-Prussian War. 154 years ago in 1870, Marshal F.S. Lopez dies during the Battle of Cerro Cora, thus marking the end of the Paraguayan War. 157 years ago in 1867, Nebraska is admitted as the 37th United States state. 179 years ago in 1845, United States President John Tyler signs a bill authorizing the United States to annex the Republic of Texas. 188 years ago in 1836, the Convention of Delegates from 57 Texas communities convenes in Washington on the Brazos, Texas, to deliberate independence from Mexico. 209 years ago in 1815, Napoleon returns to France from his banishment on Elba. 213 years ago in 1811, leaders of the Mamluk dynasty are killed by Egyptian ruler Muhammad Ali. 219 years ago in 1805, Justice Samuel Chase is acquitted at the end of his impeachment trial by the US Senate. 228 years ago in 1796, the Dutch East India Company is nationalised by the Batavian Republic. 243 years ago in 1781, the Articles of Confederation goes into effect in the United States. 332 years ago in 1692, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne and Tituba are brought before local magistrates in Salem Village, Massachusetts, beginning what would become known as the Salem Witch Trials. 391 years ago in 1633, Samuel de Champlain reclaims his role as commander of New France on behalf of Cardinal Richelieu. 396 years ago in 1628, writs issued in February by Charles I of England mandate that every county in England, not just seaport towns, pay ship tax by this date. 462 years ago in 1562, 63 Huguenots are massacred in Wassy, France, marking the start of the French Wars of Religion. 548 years ago in 1476, forces of the Catholic monarchs engaged the combined Portuguese Castilian armies of Alfonso V and Prince John at the Battle of Toro. 1,190 years ago in 834, Emperor Louis the Pious is restored as sole ruler of the Frankish Empire. 1,574 years ago in the year 350, Vetranio proclaims himself Caesar after being encouraged to do so by Constantina, sister of Constantius II. 1,731 years ago in the year 293, Emperor Diocletian and Maximian appoint Constantius Chlorus and Galerius as Caesars. This is considered the beginning of the Tetrarchy, known as the Quattro Principes Mundi, or four rulers of the world. 2,533 years ago in the year 510 BC, Publius Valerius Publicola celebrates the first triumph of the Roman Republic after his victory over the deposed king Lucius Tarquinius Superbus at the Battle of Silva Arcia. So that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you did indeed like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and also consider leaving a comment below. All feedback is very much welcome. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel grow and will ensure that you are notified of future videos. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you are notified of future videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.